Today, I'm reviewing a potato. Hi, meet me. So the other day, I was like, let me be productive and not make a mess and go to work. So I was like, okay, I'm working on the next project. I'm not making a mess. Excellent job. Perfect work. And what I ended up doing is I blew up my Raspberry Pi. I looked at my Raspberry Pi and I was like, you broke my 3D printed gear heart. Of course, I was facing some resistance, but I decided to burn some bridges so I can move on. Meet my new friend, a potato. No, not this, but this is the leap potato. And I'm going to test this out as a replacement to my Raspberry Pi. Stay tuned. Now you know the backstory on how my Raspberry Pi died. I still need to figure out if I can fix it or not. Hopefully it's just a fuse. If I do, I'll make another video about that. But for now, let's look at the Amazon listing for the Leap Potato. The specification here, there's a 2 gigabyte of RAM. And remember, this board does not come with Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, but it does have an IR receiver. There are 4 USBs. There is an Ethernet. It's 100 megabyte, but it's still there. There is an HDMI also. And I think they did a very good job to make it kind of consistent with the Raspberry Pi theme. Also, you can see here that they have software support. I know they support Ubuntu and Raspbian 11. There's probably more on their website. Since I'm lazy, let's go ahead to their website and see what they have over there. And by the way, shout out to their customer service. They did a great job. I emailed them, they got to me the next day. They seems to be really involved in the community. They're trying to work with their customers to resolve any issues. This is my honest opinion. No one is paying me to say anything. This is not a sponsored video. Now we need to set this up. And like I mentioned, since I'm lazy, I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible and plug and play, hopefully more compatible and consistent with the Raspberry Pi theme. So we're going to click on this guy. I'm going to stick with Raspbian. And here they have a very nice kind of article, tells you what to do. They have the images on their server. So we're going to open this in a new tab. These are the images. We need to get the board name. So let's get this copied and go back to the images and let's find that name here. So you can see this is the two images. Looks like this is the light version and then this is the regular image. This is probably the one I'm going to go with. So we'll download the image. For the purpose of this video, I'm just going to use the Raspberry Pi Imager. I went ahead and selected the operating system, which is the image that I just downloaded from their website. I chose my SD card and I'm going to click write. A couple more things to point out here. By the way, I did not need to do this step. I downloaded the image like I showed you, and then I just took the image into the Raspberry Pi Imager into my SD card. Initially, I did have an issue because I used like a bad quality SD card, or I keep saying SD card, micro SD card. But when I switched to a SanDisk micro SD card, it worked just fine. So downloaded the image, got it on the SD card using the Raspberry Pi Imager. I did not even need any other software. And then I looked here. There are pre-setup you can do. It looks like you can set up the SSH, the Wi-Fi, for like the network and the login and everything. You can also set up the username and the password. It looks like these are like a pre-configuration you can do. I did not do any of those. I wanted to keep it as simple as possible, and I wanted to see if this is can be like more of a plug and play. While the SD card is cooking, I'm going to highlight a couple of things. First is the image I used. It's this. Also, I want to point out that they're on their website that they have on this page. I'll link it in the description. They have this nice Excel sheet that highlights the GPIO and the pins. Let's go ahead and open that up and show you. This is actually very nice. They did a very good job of documenting everything and kept it very consistent with the Raspberry Pi, which I like.
Okay, so just booted up the Potato. Looks like it's working just fine. This is the first time I'm seeing the screen, so we're just gonna set it up together. I plugged in this wireless mouse and keyboard, HDMI cable, and power. Obviously, this is my SD card with the image on. It is very sensitive to the SD card quality. Initially, I used a different SD card and it did not boot. So then I replaced it with a SanDisk SD card and that worked very well. All right, let's look at the setup here. We're just gonna do this together. Okay, so we're starting to lag between my mouse and keyboard, that's why, let's see. Okay, so just setting up my location and my time zone. I have not done this before, so we're just doing it for the first time. That seems to be taking longer than expected. Okay, not too bad. So this is for a username and a password. What if I skip this? Okay. Oh, it's actually not really skip this. So I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stop it. So you have to set the username and password. Let's see, I can skip the password. So it looks like the username and password are required, so I'm gonna do that. There. It looks like everything works so far. Okay, next I'm gonna try to get a simple program to run on this, maybe like a blinking LED or something, just to see if this is as simple as the Raspberry Pi.
So this was really simple to set up. There was a couple of updates, and then Python came in, installed as part of the image. I added the wireless keyboard and mouse, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and this is the USB drive that I got some code out of. So all in all, I would say this is really easy. Let me know if you want me to dig deeper. For now, I just want to show you that I managed to kind of turn on and off an LED. So I got access to the GPIO. Everything seems to be working just fine for me. Very happy so far with this setup. And